If you need to increase your speed and improve your accuracy in schoolwork, you're not alone. Many students are plagued with what for them are long assignments. And it isn't just the assignments. Every time test comes to an end with a large number of students failing to finish because of lack of time. Accuracy presents the same problem. A few students do very accurate work, while many of their fellow students, who are just as intelligent, make many so-called careless errors. To begin with, you must be convinced that you can improve, and that you can consciously control the operations of your brain just as you can control the movement of your arm. If you want your arm to move fast, it moves fast. In the same way, if you wish your brain to think fast, it will think fast. You can speed up your thought processes. You can write tests faster, you can read faster, you can work with greater accuracy, and you can get more understanding from what you read by proper control of your thinking. It was during World War II that us Air Force psychologists first proved that you can radically increase your speed of perception. That is, you can learn to see more in a shorter span of time. By flashing pictures on screens, they train pilots to take in a fantastic number of details in the wink of an eye and to describe them accurately. Similarly, the US Navy, experimenting in its radio schools, proved that radio and telegraph operators could develop high speed and accuracy to the point where a sentence of Morse code was almost a blur of sound. The old adage of slow but sure and the caution haste makes waste do not hold in the case of study. If you are giving careful attention to your work, greater speed will result in greater accuracy. Do not think that you gain speed and accuracy simply by deciding to do so. You need a sound plan. Throughout my book you will find suggestions which will aid you in increasing both your speed and accuracy. The dual possibility of speed and accuracy is illustrated by the case of Joe, who was a student in a math class. Joe had always had trouble in school. Turns out his third-grade teacher had once told him to choose between working slowly and accurately or working rapidly and inaccurately. Of course Joe chose to be slow and accurate, and for years afterward he found it impossible to do some tasks in the time allowed. For example, he always failed to complete tests with a time limit. Like most people, Joe was afraid to change his habits. He feared any change in his rate of work would produce disastrous results. But one day, he had a teacher who changed his life and his career in school. "Look, Joe, you're producing disastrous results right now, anyway," his teacher pointed out, "so why not try the alternative that was not suggested to you? Why not go for it? Work on being both fast and accurate." This idea startled Joe, but he was ready to try anything. He listened as his teacher continued. "When you are working slowly and accurately, does your mind ever have space left over to think about other things?" he said. Joe had admitted that when working slowly, he tended to daydream. Other thoughts crept in. "All right, then," said his teacher, "the point is to make your mind and pencil work so fast that there is no time or space in your mind for daydreaming." He was given a math test comparable to one in which he previously had completed 12 problems out of 29 correctly in 50 minutes. This time, consciously trying to speed up his brain, he finished all 20 problems in 40 minutes with 18 right. Joe was convinced that he could combine speed and accuracy merely by making an effort to do so. When you, yourself, have given this idea a real try, you, too, will be convinced that speed and accuracy can be attained at one and the same time. One college student reported a time saving of 2 hours per day on homework, when he consciously speeded up both his reading and the writing of his assignments. An illustration of what you may accomplish by giving a task your complete attention, and insisting that your brain work accurately is seen in the following case. George had just received his paper back from the math test. He seemed quite perplexed. At the end of class he followed his teacher to his office. "I don't understand why it is that I made an F on this test, when I can really work all the problems," George said to his teacher. "I realize that 5 right out of 12 should be marked an F, but I don't understand how a person like me who knows how to work the problems could make so many errors. What am I doing wrong? Can you help me with my problem?" George's teacher explained that it takes more than knowledge of how to work the problems to get the right answers. She told George to put his full attention on test-taking. At the same time he should insist that his brain work accurately. She told him to try for a perfect score. He was told that getting this perfect score was not a task to be taken lightly. George was allowed to take another version of the same math test immediately. With his new determination, he wrote a perfect paper. It is perfectly reasonable to understand that George and people like him did have a good knowledge of math. His F on the first test had been for failing to give full attention to the task at hand. His perfect paper in the second instance is a direct result of giving his full attention to the job at hand. Click the link in the description below to visit the website to learn more, and claim your special YouTube discount of this amazing program.